Hello and welcome to the Burnt Ham podcast, where we try to entertain you using our limited knowledge of the world.
Bit of housekeeping to kick it off with. Apologies, I'm very hungover.
So this week I'm awake and George is not.
Role reversal.
Yeah, so it's my turn to carry the episode. So therefore, today is the vegan episode. It's here, boys.
It's finally happening. However, today is not the day that I have my mic on.
One day, George will remember to buy mic arm and then he can sit comfortably.
Yeah, I'll have to stop giving myself a backache. Right, tell us about veganism.
Yeah, it's a thing. So let's start off with what is veganism, because some people don't know, and I think most people know by now, but not everyone knows. So veganism is just where you do as much as you can to prevent any harm towards animals. So through diet, you don't eat meat, you don't eat eggs, milk, honey, that kind of thing. So any animal products you don't eat.
Some vegans eat honey, but
some do, but most don't.
They're
That's
fake.
That's a common thing. And then of course like you don't wear leather, and shampoos and stuff like that aren't tested on animals, because obviously that's more suffering on animals. So that's kind of the basics of what vegan is.
Yeah, I'm not vegan. Tom is,
Obviously, I'm the wacky vegan.
Yeah. How do you think he got so tall? Veganism.
There you go, guys. It's proven. Veganism makes you taller.
Yeah. We've got a longitudinal study right here.
Conclusive proof. So, first off, I don't like the way veganism is portrayed in the media.
No, that's fair enough. It's kind of made out to be this sort of, I'm holier than thou and you should be punished for not being vegan.
Well, at the moment, so basically back in the day when smoking, they were trying to prove that was bad and stuff like that. Obviously, the smoking companies who are making loads of money from it didn't want it to be banned or found out to cause cancer and stuff like that. So basically, in the media, they just portray people that think smoking is bad as these crazy wacko people, and just do everything they can to kind of give out conflicting ideas to confuse people on what's right and wrong. And kind of the same thing's happening at the moment, where at the moment, is red meat meant to cause cancer? Is it meant to be healthy for you? You don't know. Do you have to eat meat to get your protein? That's something that a lot of people don't seem to know. There's a lot of conflicting information out there at the moment, and it's basically to confuse the consumer, so they just go, I can't be bothered to find out what the truth is, so I'll just stick with what I'm doing now.
Yeah. With the red meat causing cancer thing, I wouldn't be surprised, because so burnt toast, the essentially charcoal, that is the burn bit, because that's just highly heated carbon. That has carcinogenic properties. And what are animals made out of? Carbon. So going by that logic,
But everything's made out of carbon, so
I know, but
well, not everything, but living things are.
So basically, everything is going to give you cancer.
Everything causes you cancer. Cancer doesn't even exist anyway, so it's all lies.
Yes.
But
No one's
anyway,
ever died from cancer.
back to the topic at hand. So why might you want to become vegan? That's what a lot of people ask me, and they go, why do you want to do that? Look at all this great food that you can't eat now. I love pepperoni pizza and stuff like that. Like, and I'm like, yeah, it's nice. I did used to really enjoy eating meat. I would regularly eat meat and dairy, etc. I love cheesecake, all that kind of things. But like the same reason you don't take loads of drugs all the time. Like, I personally just don't agree with it. So I've just, like, someone wouldn't eat a dog. A lot of people find that extremely, like, oh my god, how the hell could you eat a dog? Like, that's something that's quite common in some Asian countries, but that's how I think about all animals. Like, I wouldn't want to eat a cow now. I wouldn't want to eat a pig now, because I think of them in the same way I think about dogs. And like, that's one way is ethics. Is obviously, I just think personally it's a lot more ethical to not use animals to make profit, etc. So
I totally agree with you. The dairy industry is a big factor for global warming. I might agree with you on all these things, but it's just so much easier to not bother. Hence why I haven't.
I completely agree. That's one of the, like, there's loads of reasons to go vegan, but one of the main things against it is the convenience. And I knew that going into it. Is just, you lose so much convenience. You've got to check ingredients. There's a limited stuff you can eat when you go to places. Like, when you eat out, there might be only one option, maybe none, and you have to then go to a different restaurant, and it's really inconvenient. But for me, I just once I like learned about it and really thought about it, I couldn't go back on myself, because I would just be like, I'd just be a hypocrite, in my opinion. So you've got all the ethics of it, of not killing animals, not using animals. Like, people go, oh well, why don't you still like drink milk? Like, well, the cow's still dying. Like, all dairy cows are killed and eaten for their milk. They're forcibly impregnated, and then their babies are taken away from them. Like, so they've got to have a baby each year to produce milk for the farmers. Those babies are then taken away from their mother because they want the milk for themselves, not for the baby. And then that baby, if it's a female, is then raised just like their mum to just be pumped for milk. Or if it's a boy, killed or used for veal. They're not really very useful, so they just fucking get killed most of the time.
Yeah, and let's take this to a human example. So, I watched Mad Max Fury Road a little while ago, a good few years ago, and in the Mad Max world, the villain, the antagonist of that film, like, does exactly that, but with humans. He like harvests human milk so that they can survive, because there's like no water or whatever. And seeing it in that way, like, if you treat animals with the same respect that you treat a person, then you'd probably be a lot more convinced to go vegan, because it's not just I'm going vegan. It's, you need to change your whole mindset.
Yeah, and that's something that to anyone that's thinking of it, you need to be fully committed and have your mindset completely changed to even like do it for a period of time, because it's not easy.
Yeah.
And that's not me trying to go, oh, look at me, I'm so good. I'm like, even though it's really difficult, I can do it. It's just a fact. It just is difficult at this moment in time.
Yeah.
But it's obviously a lot better now. There is a lot of vegan options. Like, 10 years ago, there just wasn't like even a market for it. So
yeah, I tried about 3-4 years ago, and miserably failed, because I just didn't inform myself on the subject. Like, you need to have supplements to get certain stuff. I'm sure it's perfectly possible to get the supplements, like the vitamins or whatever, naturally, but it's probably from fruit and vegetables and products that aren't widely available.
So the only on that subject of supplements, the only supplement you do need to take that you can't get from plants is B12, and that's found in, I think it's made from, or like somehow from cobalt, which is found in soil or like fresh water. So the reason we don't get that is because we don't drink fresh water. It's obviously filtered.
Right.
Or it's just been, because the land has been harvested so much, the plants don't get it through the soil.
Yeah.
So then you think, oh well, then everyone must take B12, but so they give the supplements to like cows and pigs and stuff like that. So it's either you take the supplement yourself or you eat the pig who's eaten the supplement. Yeah. So that's how most people get it. But even like that, a lot of people are B12 deficient. Yeah, even though they do eat meat and they don't realise it. But
doesn't it make you really tired if you don't have B12?
It can do, yeah.
It probably affects melatonin. Is that the right? That's the tiredness.
I don't know enough about it, to be honest. I just know kind of the why I take it, because obviously I researched why do I need to take this before buying it and taking it, obviously.
Yeah, I'm not really aware of the pharmacokinetics of B12 supplements.
Yeah, I'm not really sure like what it actually does for your body. I just know you need it.
It's important.
So if you want to find out a little bit more about ethics, or you're interested to hear another person talk about it that's a bit more knowledgeable, I'd recommend this guy called Earthling Ed on YouTube. He does some really great stuff and really helped me change my mind and think about things in a different way.
Maybe I should look him up, because as I said, I totally agree with all these points about the advantages of veganism. And to me, the biggest factor to go vegan is the impact if everyone in the world went vegan on like the Earth's ecosystem and global climate change.
Yeah, that would be my next point, is environment. So you've got three big things, in my opinion. You've got ethics, which we just talked about, environment, and then health. So we can talk about environment next.
Yup.
So just as a pure logical way of thinking about it, the energy comes from the sun, then the plants get that energy, turn it into protein and stuff like that, and then animals eat that, and then they are protein and stuff like that. But obviously they need water and stuff like that to live. So animals are inefficient. Yes. And it's far more efficient to just get all your protein straight from plants and cut out the middleman of eating the animals, which also get it from plants. So you need a far smaller area if you're just eating plants.
Yeah,
because it takes a huge amount of space just for like cows
and
pigs.
Like if you think about it, humans live in little castles called houses, and houses are massive, like compared to the size of humans. Like we don't need all this space, but we do. Well, I guess we do to stay sane, but same for animals. They need their space to graze, to vibe, to have sex, whatever, but
to live.
Yeah, plants just literally spunk on the floor and then more plants grow.
Yeah, and then of course from having there's like trillions of animals in the world that are just farmed, and of course they all produce waste, so that ends up in the seas and rivers and stuff like that. And then you've got all the methane and I can't remember the other gas. There's a worse gas than methane.
Sulfur something.
It's like something to do with nitrogen. I can't remember. I maybe should have researched it a little bit more and written some notes down. But this is all just straight.
Yeah.
We just literally are winging this episode, if you can't tell. So anyway, they make some harmful gases which contributes to global warming, which is bad because death.
Yeah, greenhouse heat death.
And then of course you just got to think about it logically again, that the population is still getting bigger, so that means we need more animals to stay alive, but the people need more space and we need more space for the animals. And at the moment people are really pushing more ethical farming practices and are really against factory farming. But yeah, so then if you have grass-fed everything, all your grass-fed animals, they need more space again. So like, pick a side. I hate that people are like, oh, we want more ethical way to kill these cows. No, just don't kill the cows. Why do you still need to eat the cows if you don't agree with killing them in the first place? No, if you do agree with killing them, then why do you care if they get to run around in grass or they're just confined in a little box?
It's
surely you don't care about their life because you want them to die and eat them.
It's shifting.
It's just so hypocritical, the whole eating meat kind of way of thinking.
It's shifting blame from someone who eats meat onto the farmers, because they're like, oh, it's your fault that everything's terrible because you're the one that are treating the animals bad. I'm just eating them, which is just how change is stunted. You need to take responsibility if you ever want to change, you know?
Yeah, and I think that's a lot of it. Everyone wants to be a good person, but a lot of people just don't want to change their life in any impactful way. So they just kind of go, oh, look, that person's worse than me, so what I'm doing is fine.
Yeah.
It's just, but instead you should just take responsibility for your own actions. And for me myself, I haven't tried to push veganism on anyone since I've become it. I've maybe say the odd comment, like when people talk about, oh, how bad it is killing dogs, I'll go, then why do you eat pigs or something like that?
Yeah.
Because to me, I just want people to just think about their choices a little bit more, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
But I used to eat meat, so I used to have the exact same mindset, so I can completely empathize with someone that still eats meat, and I'm not annoyed at you for anyone who does eat meat. I just think that people just need time to change their minds, and personally I do think that veganism is a growing thing, and I think it's the future, and especially the next generation is going to be mainly vegan, in my opinion.
Hopefully.
Which I think will be a very positive thing, hopefully.
Yeah. Well, it's especially important at the moment. We're literally on the brink of global warming catastrophe. It's so close. It's coming.
Yeah,
Can't wait.
It's honestly scary when you watch maybe a documentary about global warming and all that kind of stuff.
It's nuts.
And you honestly think, are we going to turn into a desert in the next 10 years and literally be a wasteland with no life apart from humans because we're just, I don't know, found a way to survive? Or
well, we are the most adaptable animal, probably.
yeah, well, that's why we are literally everywhere.
Yeah.
And or are we gonna save it? Are we just gonna cling on to the earth and save it?
Yeah, I didn't get why some people are just like Elon Musk, just like, yeah, let's go to Mars. Let's bun this place off and off to Mars. Let's go. Like,
Yeah.
Why not just chill here?
Exactly.
It'll be fine. I like this place.
like the whole race to space at the moment.
Yeah, it's crazy.
With Jeff Bezos and the other one.
Yeah, Richard Branson.
That's it, Richard Branson. Like, they just are so desperate to be the first. Like, wait, someone's already done it, haven't they?
Richard Branson went.
Richard
Branson.
Was that a test flight, or have they actually been to space now?
No, I think he went, and so did Jeff Bezos.
But they were both just so desperate to be the first not astronaut.
The first CEOs in space.
Yeah, the first like commercially done space
commercial space flight.
Yeah, that's it. But it was just they're just egos are just so huge
It's
that they
nuts,
just really wanted to be the first ones in space, just to be in the history books and stuff like that. Just like the first plane flights and stuff like that. It's just the exact same thing, but
yeah,
like being in space would be pretty cool, but it's quite unnecessary.
Yeah. Maybe.
But then you could say that about probably a lot of things.
Yeah, but space, going to space doesn't like burn nearly as much fuel as racing around in a car at a track day every 4th Wednesday of the month, something like that. I think one space flight would probably burn so much more fuel than a lifetime of like track day. I don't know why.
Yeah, I don't even want to think about if commercial space flights were like as normal as plane flights. Like,
oh my God.
That couldn't be possible now, but maybe if they found a more efficient way to do it, it might be a thing. But at the moment, that would just cause so much problems.
Yeah, because the thing is with space flight, the reason it takes so much fuel is because you have to take so much fuel. The fuel is what makes it super heavy.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Because we just don't have...
We don't have efficient energy storage means.
Yeah.
Even batteries are super heavy.
That's why you can't have electric planes at the moment, because they're just not
advanced enough.
Yeah, they're not light enough. And anyway, this is a different topic.
Yeah, let's talk about the health benefits.
Environment. No, let's stay on environment for a little bit. I've got one more comment to make, and so the agricultural industry, well, the farming animals, I don't know what the word for that is.
Farming industry.
The farming industry. But then that could include crops.
Okay, just the livestock farming industry.
Anyway, yeah, something like that. Contributes more like gases and stuff like that to the environment than the whole of the transport industry, which when I heard about that I was like, what?
Well, it makes sense if you think about it.
It's literally crazy, because there's literally so many animals, obviously, and then you've got all the transportation of all those animals, and then you're cutting down the rainforest and areas like that, which absorb CO2, etc., to then make more animals, to then produce more livestock, etc. And it's just a massive cycle of gas and death.
Because like even coal, burning coal doesn't produce nearly as much harmful gases to the atmosphere as farming. It's because there's not as many coal stations. There's just millions and millions of animals farting away. If they could stop farting, that'd be good.
Yeah, if they could just sew up their anuses, and then it would be much better.
It would be a happier world.
Yes, that is what we want to advocate for.
You got there in the end.
There we go. That was a difficult word.
Sometimes
anyway,
words are difficult.
Let's go to everyone's favourite topic, health. Yeah.
Ooh, physical health.
Some people care about health, some people don't. But I get asked a lot, where do you get your protein from?
nuts.
And this question really annoys me because all like pretty much all food has protein in it. Just shut up.
Yeah, and I wouldn't be surprised if like lentils, soy, and like all that sort of stuff is more protein plentiful than animals, because there's loads of fat in animals, like cuts of meat. Can you clarify this or?
Not off the top of my head, I've got to be honest. I know that there are more protein dense foods, like you just mentioned, nuts, lentils, and that kind of thing are more protein dense than lettuce.
Yeah,
But lettuce still has protein in it, and like everyone just goes, oh well, you can only get protein from animals, and that's just annoying because that's false.
Yeah,
But I'd say that you have to eat a little bit more than you do when you are an omnivore diet if you are vegan, just because it's not quite as calorie dense as like a bit of meat is quite calorie dense, but it's really not that difficult. And you just learn to eat. You'll just be more hungry because it won't fill you up as much if you had a bit of chicken and some potatoes. Instead you'll have some potatoes, some veg and stuff like that. You'll just eat more, and you'll be able to eat it. It's not like, oh my god, I have to eat loads of food now.
No, because
just do.
The volume of food does not dictate how full you get. It's the amount of calories you intake. Like obviously, if you like eat a kilogram of popcorn or something, you're gonna feel a bit bloated.
a bit. How much is a kilogram of popcorn? Like in volume?
Probably like, I'd say probably about a few deciliter cubes.
That's a huge amount of popcorn.
Yeah, popcorn sucks, but I won't go into that.
But anyway, so the health benefits. So if you're interested about that, What the Health on Netflix, pretty interesting.
Nice play on words there.
I can't remember what I was going to say now.
I've got a thing to say.
Go for it, George.
Your digestive system must love you. Do you have like really regular poos?
I do have really regular poos.
That's convinced me.
Because I now eat more fibre. Because a lot of people are lacking in fibre, and I must have. But now I obviously eat more fibre just through the change in my diet. I eat more oats and stuff like that. So.
Yeah, my digestive system hates me at the moment.
And stuff like IBS.
Oh yeah.
Like they were like, I can't remember where I saw it, but apparently there's been a lot of cases where doctors haven't been able to like treat certain cases of IBS if you get it really bad, but through medication, but then someone's gone vegan and it's cleared it up, just because the reason they had irritable bowel syndrome is just because of their diet. But doctors don't usually recommend diet. They've just been taught to treat stuff with medication.
It's like, after you saying that, it's like IBS is something they've made up so that they don't have to like
change their
good
diet.
Change.
If you're really interested in it, watch What the Health, because I did find it really interesting and quite an eye opener on how it was more. It was based in America, so it was based on a lot of American practices on like doctors and stuff like that, where they just give people loads of medication. But I feel like it does relate to the UK as well, just because a lot of medication is to kind of just slow down the process of stuff happening, as opposed to actually curing it.
Yeah.
It just kind of like slows. Yeah, I already just said that. Don't repeat yourself.
Well, as the saying goes, prevention is better than cure. So
Exactly.
Why not prevent something from happening? rather than just taking a tablet for it every day.
Mm.
Like, I'd hate to have to take tablets just because I don't like the idea of taking drugs to solve a problem.
Mm. Yeah, a lot of people don't, but feel it's the only option. And it's especially if you don't. I don't really know anything about it either, but if you don't know a lot about doctor stuff, what is the doctor stuff that doctors know?
Medical science.
Medical stuff. If you don't know a lot about it, which most people don't, they'll just trust their doctor and just go. I'm not saying that doctors lie, but they're just taught to treat stuff a certain way, which is through medication usually.
Yeah.
And if that person's told you just take this and you'll be okay, then you're just going to do that, and you're not going to think about alternative methods like diet, which is a huge factor of your health.
Yeah.
And for me personally, since going vegan a few months ago now, probably 4 months ago now.
Yeah, it was a little while ago.
It was a little while ago now.
I think it was back in February or something.
It was a little bit later than that, I think.
Okay, now.
Okay. But anyway, I felt a lot more... I've got a lot more energy, and apparently my skin looks brighter, I got told by my mum. I don't know if that's true. Who knows? But that was a nice thing to hear.
Yeah, I can imagine cutting out a lot of saturated fats and sugary stuff would help with complexion.
And also, I don't do as much swimming now, but when I do swim, my recovery time, like the next day, so obviously swimming's very tiring, and then the following day usually you know that you've done a good workout the day before, but I noticed that my recovery time was a little bit quicker, and I'd feel back to normal quicker since changing my diet.
Yeah.
And the reason why it is so much better is just because it kind of forces you to make healthier choices, because now I can't have that bit of cheesecake after a meal. I can't go out and have Mackies all the time. I can't just eat rubbish because I go, I'm not allowed to eat that. So instead I'll just cook a meal or something like that. And then I end up cooking stuff from scratch, and that has less additives and all that jazz in it.
Yeah. Less monosodium glutamate, which is MSG, which makes food...
No, MSG is amazing.
Yeah, it makes food taste yummy.
I actually do really like MSG.
Who doesn't?
Because I have these packets of noodles, and it's got loads of MSG. It's really good because I have it at work because I don't have a lot of time to... Well, I just can't be bothered to prepare anything for work, so I just put some water in there.
No, that's fair.
It's just really good.
I'm guessing it's like some sort of salty, sugary thing, because sodium gluteus maximus.
I don't know, it just enhances flavors and just makes you go, wow,
yummy,
to the most basic stuff.
Yeah, like fried what them little things called, what's in a chop suey? Bean sprouts. Yeah, Chinese food without MSG probably wouldn't taste very great.
Chinese food is pretty amazing because Chinese food doesn't have a lot of dairy in it.
Oh yeah, true.
Because that's another thing. In when we were at school, I don't know if you remember, you had when you got taught about what to eat on your diet, dairy is in that, is a food group, because we had food groups and you have to eat so much of everything, and that was considered healthy. But dairy is in the food group, and we were taught that that's how you be healthy. You need a glass of milk to have strong bones for calcium, etc., like that.
Absolute bollocks.
65% of the population is lactose intolerant.
Yeah.
And how are they even alive if they can't have milk?
Who knows?
So it just shows that you don't need milk to be
No,
alive.
I don't think humans are meant to drink milk.
No,
Well-
it's completely unnatural.
If you think,
And sorry,
sorry, if you think about it, literally, you wouldn't like if you're a caveman, you wouldn't go up to a cow and just be like, "Whoa."
yeet,
Yeah, the cow would fucking kick you,
kick you in the dick.
Yeah, and you'd be very sad.
You would be very sad if a cow.
I'd be
kicks
very
you.
sad.
I'd be like, cow, why are you so? Why you have to be mad?
It's
But
just
anyway,
stealing.
I just think it's so coming out of it now. I just think it's so weird that we just go, oh, let's just nick some milk that's made for a baby cow, made to turn a little tiny cow into some massive fucking
Yeah,
thing. So it's just so bad for you because it's just meant to fatten up a cow really quickly and make them grow, and then we're just like, I fancy a little bit of that.
yeah. Milk literally has like pus and blood in it, so it's not for human consumption. It literally has to be filtered like through a million different things
because
for humans to use it.
It's just not the most appetizing thing when you think about it.
No, I'm sure it is to someone.
And then to anyone who's thinking now, oh yeah, but we needed dairy and stuff like that, and I completely agree. At one point, it was helpful to our advancement, like especially in colder climates, because you are able to like fatten up easier with it. And the same with meat and stuff like that. Like back in the day, meat was necessary.
Yeah.
And did help us advance to different locations and stuff like that. But we don't need to do that anymore. We literally have a supermarket. We don't need to go hunting anymore. Food is just everywhere.
Yeah, I could walk up to the shop now.
You can quite easily have whatever diet you want. So we don't need meat at the moment.
Nope.
I'm living proof of that. And that's the end. I can't be bothered to talk about it anymore.
Yep. Okay, so I brought a topic. Oh yeah. I brought a topic, everybody. This one's a riveting one, so strap yourselves in. Your dicks are gonna get hard today.
Thank you.
I have been carrying round with me something very close to my heart. I put this in my bag a few weeks ago and it hasn't come out yet, but today we get to find out what it is. It's a copy of Bone Tomahawk, which I purchased from CEX in a local town.
How much did it cost you?
Let's find out. It cost me £1.50.
Wow, what a steal.
I know. I haven't watched it yet.
I've not seen it and I've never heard of it until you mentioned it earlier.
Apparently it's super like gritty and gory and really meant to be really good, but maybe we'll watch it and talk about it next week.
Maybe we will.
Probably not, but
Probably not, because being prepared for a podcast is against the law.
stupid idea, yeah.
As we literally turned up today and was just like, I don't know what to talk about. So I just whacked out the big topic of veganism because I can just rant about it for bloody ages, because why not?
And that's the end of that one.
That's the end. Goodbye. But not goodbye.
Goodbye. But not.
Should we end it now?
Yeah, I gotta go.
Fair enough.
And I'm really I've had enough.
Monged
In the
out.
nicest possible way, yeah.
Thank you everyone for listening.
Thank you everyone for listening.
Sorry I've just been ranting and haven't written anything down and haven't prepared a proper argument. Maybe this changed someone's mind. Who knows? Probably not.
If anyone, I think it would be me. I do want to go vegan.
Well, I'd say research it before actually trying to do it. I'd say that's more important. It's about flicking that switch in your mind and going, hey, that's a good idea. Because that's what happened to me. And I was like, Let's do this.
But let's also stop whaling, because killing whales is really bad for the climate, the ecosystem of the
But
everything.
whale blubber, yummy, yummy.
Have you eaten it?
No, I have no idea what it tastes like, and I just think, why?
Because it's time to go now. Bye.
It is time to go now. Bye.